How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Minus the Gym. Hope you're having a great day or night. I happen to be feeling fantastic, and that's because I am on day 7 of my annual raw cleanse. And when I say raw cleanse, I usually eat just raw fruits and veggies for an entire week. And one year I even ate only bananas for a week, which I don't recommend. But this year I'm doing a juice cleanse, all right? And I feel just, like I said, fantastic. So much energy. My mind is clear. I feel light. I feel strong still. My skin's looking better. It's just a great thing to do. So I wanted to make this video to explain how to do a juice cleanse in case you want to do it too. Alright, so here we are in the kitchen. You can see back there I got the juicer already set up, all the fruits and veggies lined up for the video. I've made my first juice of the day. This is pineapple grapefruit, one of my favorites, as I'll explain later. So I'm going to show you how to do a cleanse, but also explain why I like to cleanse every year, and I'll tell you all the pros and cons. But really quick, I just want to mention that if I look kind of pale, it's because I live in northern Illinois and it's February. Typically I do a cleanse in spring or summer when it's nice and warm, I can get sun, but I was just really feeling the itch, like I just wanted to cleanse my body. It's not the ideal time, there's a foot of snow on the ground and it's like -4 outside, so, but that's just how I roll, you know, when I feel the itch, I do it. Alright, I'm gonna go grab my tripod and then we'll start learning how to juice fast. Alright, so first things first, you're gonna need a juicer, obviously. And what I have here is a centrifugal juicer. I'll explain what that means in a second. It's a Breville Icon. So Breville is the manufacturer, Icon is the model. There's a lot of different types of juicers out there. You can shop around and find what you like, find what's in your budget. I've had this for a few years now. I don't really have any complaints about it. It works great. It's easy to clean. But the one reason why I'm thinking about upgrading soon is because, so this juicer is a centrifugal juicer. What that means is there's a blade in here that spins really fast. It's a blade basket, actually, a whole bunch of blades spinning at a high rate. And when you push the fruits and veggies down into the chute like this, juice goes out that way, pulp goes out that way into the waste bin here. That's introducing some oxygen because of the high rate of speed of the blades. And that will oxidize your juice faster, which means you need to drink it within about 30 minutes, whereas a slow masticating juicer, which is a totally different type of juicer, is going to do this slow churn, right? It's going to really slowly crush the fruits and veggies and get the juice out. That means less oxygen introduced and better yield from your fruits and veggies. So I do plan on upgrading to some kind of slow masticating juicer sometime this year, but for now I am using this Breville Icon and it's working great. Oh, and I also want to mention I have this citrus juicer here. So I just put half an orange in there and I turn this and the juice comes out in the bottom. This is a 1 pint serving cup. Really great for making OJ, but really it's only for orange juice. Alright, now step 2 is you want to go to the grocery store and just stock up on fruits and veggies. You're going to need tons. And if you want to know how much you're going to need, well, what I do is I have a little mini fridge in the basement that we just have. It's just an extra fridge that we use for purposes like this. And I fill that fridge. And that'll last me about 2.5 days or so, 2 to 3 days with that mini fridge full. Like just chock full, and I keep pineapples on top of it too. Also, I want to mention that if you're the kind of person to use like paper bags or reusable bags when you go shopping, I recommend getting plastic bags, right? The reason why is if you have a centrifugal juicer like I do, you can put the plastic bag in the waste bin, so all the pulp will go into that, and then after it's full, you just take out the bag, throw it in the garbage. It makes it a lot easier to clean. And step 3 is you start juicing. That's the fun part. Now, you might be wondering, like, okay, how much juice should I drink per day? How often should I juice? How many calories and all that fun stuff? I'll explain all of that. So this is where all the good information is, right? First of all, I want to recommend that you try to get a 50-50 mix of fruit juice and vegetable juice. And the reason for that is that you really get different things from each. So fruit is going to be where you get the majority of your carbohydrates from, right? Lots of energy, but it's lower in protein than vegetables. So you get the energy from the fruits. It's very calorie dense, right? So it'll keep you going, feeling really peppy and active throughout the day. The vegetable juice is going to give you the protein. Of course, there's micronutrients from both of these sides. There's chlorophyll in all the green vegetables. There's tons of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, all that good stuff, water. You're just being flooded and showered with good nutrition during a juice cleanse. So you don't have to worry about the micros at all. It's really just coming down to getting enough calories. So I don't recommend going into a juice fast thinking like you have to really monitor your juice intake and make sure you're in a caloric deficit and that you're dropping weight. You don't want to end up feeling weak and tired. You should feel really energetic, and you should feel up to exercising even during your whole juice fast. So what I recommend, and this is just based, I'm a grown man, my body weight is 183.5 pounds, at least at the start of this week when I started my juice cleanse. It's somewhere between 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in there. By the way, I'll show you my weight at the end of this video to see how much weight I've lost. But at my build and in my height and weight, I'm getting at least a gallon of juice per day. All right, so I use a pint glass, and I fill this pint glass 8 times a day. And that comes out to a gallon. Now that's minimum. Sometimes, some days I have just a gallon, some days I'll have a little more, an extra couple pints, depending on how I feel. You really have to be in tune with your body. If you're feeling weak and tired, drink more juice, all right? If you're feeling good and energetic, then you're doing it right. But to make sure you're getting enough vegetables, because that's important, you don't want to lose your lean body mass, what I recommend doing is kind of switching between fruits and veggies. And the way that I do that is my first juice, I always do fruit because it just wakes me up and gives me energy. Typically it's citrus. I love citrus in the morning. And then my second juice, I alternate to veggies. And what I'm doing this juice fast or juice cleanse is I'm doing carrots and spinach, or carrots and kale, carrots and some kind of green, but just a lot of carrots at every vegetable juicing. My whole family has reading glasses, and my dad, he didn't have glasses till he was almost 40. So now as I'm approaching 40 and I've noticed my vision is starting to get a little worse, I'm really focusing in on the carrots. So that's why I'm doing this juice fast. But I just alternate. So I'll do fruit juice and then vegetable juice, and I alternate between, on each pint. And that works really well for me. I feel great. I'm not losing any muscle mass. In fact, I'll show you one of my workouts this week on day 4. So day 4 into my juice cleanse, I got 3 consecutive sets on L-sits, and I got 20-second holds on all 3. And that's a record for me. I've gotten 20 seconds, but then usually the second one, the second set, I go down in time a little bit, and the third set even less. But I got 3 consecutive sets, 20-second holds. So definitely I'm not losing strength. In fact, my relative strength has gone up. So this is working. I'm maintaining my lean body mass, and I'm getting enough calories. I really don't recommend counting calories though. That would just take the fun out of it. Just drink lots of juice. Drink a pint. I think I drink a pint like every 2 hours or so. And I go by how I feel, and I make sure I'm enjoying what I juice. I get fruits and veggies that I like. So now you might be wondering, like, okay, what recipes should you make, right? Should you go online and get a whole bunch of recipes and then buy the ingredients based on that? And I don't recommend that actually, because now you're going to be looking for specific produce that might not be on sale, and you're going to be spending a lot more money. I have found that keeping it simple is really the way to go. So what I do, the only recipe I make, by the way, is my beet juice recipe. I've made a whole video about that, so I'll put a link in the description box, and I'll put one of those things on the screen here if you want to check out my beet juice recipe. But it's only 5 ingredients. It's beets, carrots, celery, lemon, and apple. And that's it. Those 5 ingredients make a delicious beet juice, and that's the most complex I get with my recipes. Usually, I'm juicing just 1 or 2 things. So like straight pineapple, or pineapple and orange, or pineapple and grapefruit, for example. Carrots and spinach, right? I'll do straight celery. I mean, that doesn't give you a lot of calories, but it gives you a lot of good nutrition. Kiwi and cucumber is something I did recently. Cucumber with some fresh mint and lemon, really good. Again, low calorie. Your vegetable juices are going to be pretty low calorie again, so make sure you're also juicing a lot of fruit. So just to give you a few ideas, I guess, what I'm doing today, actually so far what I've done is pineapple and grapefruit. So I core the pineapple. I use a knife and just slice it up. I also have a cool little pineapple corer tool that I sometimes use. And I put that in the chute, ready to juice. And I'll use a citrus peeler to peel my grapefruits, just 2 grapefruits with 1 mini pineapple. And once I get those grapefruits all peeled, I put it all through the juicer, I get some delicious juice out of it, and immediately I pour it into my glass ready to serve. And the reason for that, remember, you want to immediately pour and serve because you don't want that oxidation to happen. That's when you start losing some of the good, nutrition and the enzymes, the living enzymes that are in the juice. Like I mentioned, carrot spinach, that's what I've been doing a lot. My vegetable juices on this cleanse have all been carrot heavy, all right, carrot and some kind of greens, but spinach has been my go-to. Also kale, lacinato kale, turnip greens, mustard greens, etc. Yeah, and it's just really like a 50-50 mix of carrots and spinach in a bowl, and then I just put it through the juicer. It's not so good looking. The color is kind of weird, like orangey green, even kind of brownish. But don't judge a juice by its color. It is absolutely delicious, and it's really good for you. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the carrot spinach juice is almost 10 grams of protein per glass. So like with the 4 pints I'm getting from that, that's like 40 grams of protein just from that vegetable juice. And then the fruit juice has a little bit of protein in it too. So I'm probably still getting about, 50 to 60 grams a day. But since this is raw protein, which has, double the bioavailability of cooked protein, that's equivalent to like 100 to 120 grams of protein. So really that's why I'm maintaining my lean mass and my strength, is because I'm really getting adequate protein even though I'm only drinking juice. And I've got a watermelon, right? One of those like mini personal watermelons. So I'm going to juice, like one of those probably. And that makes a really rusty colored juice. I'll do that later. But it's delicious. It's a delicious juice. It's so good for you. Believe it or not, watermelon is 8% protein. That's kind of surprising. But yeah, watermelon's one of my favorites. It's so refreshing. And again, it's a weird color. It looks like rust, but don't judge a juice by its color. Kiwi. Oh, another one is kiwi. I love kiwi. But just so you know, if you don't peel the kiwi, you're going to get some of the hair, the brown hair things that are on the outside. You're going to get that into your juice, and it's going to make your throat feel kind of funny. So maybe peel your kiwi before you juice it. Anyways, I hope you get the idea. I don't want to drag on this video going on and on. Try simple recipes, just combining fruits and vegetables even. You can do that. You can, put celery into your fruit juice and whatnot. Find what you like. Just make sure you're trying to get that 50-50 mix of fruits and veggies, drinking plenty of juice. I'd say aim for a gallon, but go by how you feel, right? A woman who's, obviously smaller than me in a lot of cases, she's going to need less juice. So she might get to 3/4 gallon and feel great. But, a man who's like 6'2" and really big, much bigger than me, he might need, 1 1/4, 1.5 gallons. You got to go by how you feel. You should feel satiated. You should feel like you have plenty of energy. You should feel good. And if you don't feel that way, drink more juice. All right, while I finish my carrot spinach juice here, I'm going to share a few tips to help you out if you want to do a juice cleanse, and also I'll talk about the pros and cons to it. So the first tip is don't clean your juicer after every juicing. If you're going to be juicing 8, 10, whatever times a day, that's going to be like a couple hours you're spending cleaning the thing. That's a complete waste of time. So what I recommend doing, and this is what I do, is when the waste bin gets full, which is every like 3 juicings or so, I empty that out and I rinse. I take the thing apart and I just rinse the parts. That's it, just a quick rinse with water to get all the fiber off and everything, put it back together for the next juicing. And then at the end of the day, when I'm all done juicing, that's when I take it apart and I scrub it with a brush with soap and water. Another tip is if you have to work, like go to the office for work and you can't just juice at your leisure, then what I recommend doing is doing all your juicing in the morning and buying pint-sized mason jars. Fill the mason jars with juice all the way up to the brim and then put on the airtight lids so that they don't oxidize, right? No oxygen can get to them. Just get like a lunchbox you can put all your pint-sized mason jars in, bring them to work, and then, drink a pint of juice every couple hours. And if your job doesn't let you drink juice every couple hours, then you need to look for a new job. My third tip is don't slam the juice, all right? Let it mix around with your saliva a little bit, at least with the first few sips. That way your digestive system knows what's coming through. But yeah, it's not good to just slam it. You want to, same thing with your smoothies. You want to chew it a little bit before you swallow it. And one more tip, do not use any substances when you're doing your cleanse, right? The whole point of a cleanse is to detoxify your system. So things like alcohol, right? Even caffeine with the morning coffee, do not drink it on your cleanse. Trying to detoxify when you're putting toxins in your body is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. It's just not going to happen. Get sunlight, okay? It's a mistake that I'm doing this in the middle of winter, so try to plan your cleanse in spring or summer, whenever the sun is shining, all right? I do recommend vitamin D. I got D3 right here. I take that on a daily basis. Also, I have B12. So that's because I don't eat meat. So those are the supplements I'm taking. Yeah, make sure you get sunlight if you can. It feels really good when you're doing a cleanse to get out in the sun. Now, all the upsides to doing this are immense. I could just keep going on and on. It feels great. Overall, I just feel fantastic. I'm happier. I have more energy. I'm just smiling more in general. I have like a clearer mind. I can be more focused like on what I'm doing, but also on the bigger picture as well. It's really interesting, and it's something that you have to experience for yourself. You feel more grounded and centered when you're doing a cleanse like this. But in terms of health benefits, I mean, you're just getting showered in good nutrition, tons of good nutrition. It's a wonderful thing. It reduces inflammation. It gives your digestive system a break. My skin looks better. I've heard of people curing ailments, everything from eczema to even cancer, using these juice fasts. So there's so many benefits. I mean, I could go on and on about it. But for me personally, it's the energy and the clarity. I just feel wonderful. But there are some downsides as well. It's not all just sunshine and balloons, right? For example, my family, I have a wife and 2 daughters, and when they make dinner and I smell that food, it's tempting. At least in the first few days, it was very tempting. And I sit down and I have my juice while they eat, and that's kind of difficult. So keep that in mind. If you live with people and they're going to continue eating solid food, it's going to be a challenge for you. Also, I'd say a big downside is the cost. I typically don't spend $100 to $200 a week on my food, and that's what I'm doing. I could be shopping smarter, definitely. I could be buying only what's on sale. I could be going to like a wholesaler to get really good deals, but I'm just doing what I can in the time that I have, and that means I'm spending a lot of money on this produce. And of course, running produce through a juicer 8 times a day is really, it can be inconvenient. If you compare it to cooking 3 times a day or doing this, it's about the same. It might be a little more work juicing, but that's one of the downsides. You get kind of tired of it. So I'm on day 7. I might keep going for another few days, but I'm looking forward to having a break from the constant juicing and cleaning of the juicer. All right, so hopefully that gives you a really good idea of how to get started with a juice cleanse and how to go through. And like I mentioned, I started this cleanse at 183.5 pounds. Now, I'm going to take off my hoodie and my fancy UGG slippers that my wife got me for Christmas, and I'm going to hop on the scale and see what I weigh. Okay, how about for the moment of truth here? All right, get on this scale. And I got spinach on my socks. How about that? 178. 178. All right, so if my math is correct, 183.5 to 178 is 5.5 pounds, right? I've lost 5.5 pounds in a week doing nothing different exercise-wise. Everything stayed the same. My same old stuff. In fact, I think I worked out a little less, just because I was on a juice cleanse and I was kind of being cautious. And yet I lost 5.5 pounds and my relative strength went up. So lean mass-wise, I feel great. You can see it in my before and afters. I'm not doing too bad. And there's really something to this. All right, now one more thing I want to mention, actually a couple things, is that you'll be surprised that you keep having bowel movements for so long during a juice cleanse. And I'm on day 7, and I haven't gone yet today, but I did yesterday, so I'm still going. I'm going to go the distance. I'm going to go till I stop. All right, once you stop having bowel movements, that means you're cleaned out and it's time to wean back onto food. Now, weaning back onto food you want to do gradually. Okay, I recommend starting with something really soft, like prunes, especially if you soak the prunes in water. Those are a good option. Watermelon's great. Any kind of melon. Anything water dense like that, now that I think about it. Oranges are a good one. I did a water fast, that was years ago, and it was a 5-day fast, and I broke that with oranges, and I was fine. So just make sure it's something water dense and gentle, something soft, and you want to have like a snack size meal to break the fast. Wait a few hours, see how you feel, and then have more. Have a slightly bigger meal of that water dense fruit. And then you can start adding, some other fruits, and then later in the evening, maybe introduce some salad. Some avocado is soft, and have a day of transitioning. Don't just jump back into your normal diet, okay? That could be bad. Your digestive system might get shocked. So just ease your way back into it. It should be across at least a day, maybe even 2 days. All right, everybody, if you're thinking about doing a juice cleanse, or maybe you really want to, I hope this video helped you out, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So if you did, hit that like button because that helps me out in return. And don't forget to subscribe. This is minus the gym. It's all about true health and fitness that you can do at home without relying on a gym. So subscribe and stay tuned if you want to learn more from me. All right, talk to you later.